This is one I've heard echoed across many platforms and many different people. And it's a look at, is life getting crazier? So, hello, welcome to the Indigo Rose Lounge. I'm your host, Alyce Dylan. Today, I'd just like to look at the escalation of crazy. And this is purely my understanding. And I don't know anymore. I can't keep up with how many provisos and whatnots and um, things I need to say to beat the algorithms, that I'm just going to give it to you like it is. So, it's been a crazy time. Mankind has been evolving from. Actually, let's go back there. Let's have a look at. There was a time in the world where those who had the biggest swords and the strongest armor and the biggest armies were dominant. That was it, right? Yay, domination through physicality. So, your physical being, your prowess, that was the thing that counted. Then we moved from there into an exploration of intellectual dominance. It became a world that the smarter people seemed to be in charge. Whoever got smarter, whoever could outwit the other ones. They said it was the information war age. Whoever had the information, but also intellectuals were a bunch of arrogant sods, weren't they? Had all these people with all this information. So if they had the information, then they seemed to be dominant. It was all based. I've got some facts for you. Now, we've just really seen a shift in intellectual prowess moving into emotional dominance. And that's an odd one. It's almost about who can claim the moral high ground here. It's become a superiority of virtue, which has very little virtue actually attached to it. So there's been quite a bit of emotional manipulation of populations. We know that a lot of white coats did a lot of work on how to lead humanity by the nose around certain things, and they fund these mass experiments. A couple of years ago, there was the pandemic, and that was apparently an experiment in compliance. It was also a lot of other things too. And that will come out in the wash. Well, obviously, we'll have to see how that falls. I'm still wondering how the people responsible for that are still walking around, but hey, that's just me. And so we've gone into this age of very baffling virtue signaling, virtue dominance world. Now, remember during that other time I just mentioned, there were also pharmaceuticals that were distributed, and there has been a lot of feedback on the impact of those. And one of the things that was striking to me was that there, in a lot of cases, seems to have been interference with the neural pathway. There, in one study, there was a 72% brain alteration from those pharmaceuticals. So I'm just sitting here taking in that information, looking at the world go crazy, and I'm wondering, is some of the crazy maybe related to some of those pharmaceuticals or others? You don't know. I don't think you're wrong, though, if you think that the escalation of crazy seems to have gone off the charts. We're sitting now, this will really date this, but we're sitting in a period of time where the people of Iran, for example, are fighting for their freedom, are protesting, and the world is making gestures, but doesn't seem to be doing much about that yet. I mean, who knows, next couple of days we could see something happen there. But there are also reports coming out of different parts of Africa or the Middle East where the slave trade is now booming and legal, and slavery is now back. And these international organizations that have had lots to say about lots of things have not said a word about that. And that looks like the escalation of craze. Like, where are we now? What, what progress has humanity made in its civilization where things like this will be ignored? What progress has humanity? Really, if I'm wrong, let me know. But 10 years ago, it was a fairly well set list of standards that, especially the Western world, but the rest of the world noddingly agreed. Yes, okay, we'll go along with this. Basic human rights, those good things. Basic, lots of good standards. We have these good things in place, and we've agreed as humanity, except from perhaps there are some tribes that are stuck out in the wilderness and have never been contacted. I know one of them. But other than undiscovered people that have been left alone, other than them, the rest of humanity seemed to get on the same page about human rights and about generally accepted conduct. And the last couple of years has really turned that around, seems to have turned that on its head. And I don't think there's one thing that could be pointed to there's not one aspect, one element that can be pointed to as having changed the trajectory of humanity. I think there are a lot of them, and I don't think it's an accident. I think that there is something at work, and I think it's many tentacled. And so, yes, crazy has escalated, definitely. Worldwide, doesn't seem to have been isolated to any particular thing. And it's a challenge because if we are on a healing path, healing ourselves, healing those around us, or in healing work at all, we tend to come up with more and more. There's an escalation of fear because people are looking at the levels of crazy and feeling fearful about it. And so, what is our only effective response to the escalating levels of crazy? Well, we really need to be the unwavering good to balance that scale. That's all that we can do. We need to stay centered. We need to find our truth and stand in it. We need to focus loveward at all times, not let fear take over. And so that means focusing our attention on all the expressions of love in the world, focusing our attention on everything that is wholesome and good. The more people, the more attention people give to all the crazy, the more it will escalate, and it will. And it will tie in with whoever's objective aligns with the world being out of control. And trust me, there are people, real human beings, whose objectives align with the world being in whole new levels of crazy. So all that we can do is hold the line, hold on to our center, keep returning to your true self, keep yourself centered in love, keep your focus on good, appreciation, all your daily doings, your meditation, your appreciation, your prayer, whatever your form is, hold that. Your form will hold you in your essence, and keep your essence pointed loveward. It's only when we do that that these winds of change, these escalating levels of insanity that run through humanity, can really be grounded and allowed to dissipate. We need to stand firm, lovelies. Yeah? So stay focused on love, always.